Welcome to the latest edition of the Amicus Live series. Today I'm joined by three very exciting guests in the Microsoft and the sort of artificial intelligence space. We're going to be discussing on a general overview how the recent developments in artificial intelligence and the future predictions of artificial intelligence are going to have an impact on an area that we're all quite interested in, and that is the sort of enterprise resource planner. A little bit about Business Central, where we're joined by two very well respected Business Central MVPs, and we're also joined by Bert Sakir. If you want to introduce yourself first, Bert, we'll go from there.
Sure. Hi. Yeah, I'm Bert. I'm from Frankfurt. I'm 26 years old. And from where I come from, my background is basically on AI. So I studied in the Netherlands, artificial intelligence, and then I moved some thing around, some consulting firms where I did some data science. And lately, I was also at Microsoft at the business application team, also being in touch with Dynamics and also a little bit with Business Central, but more to the Power Platform side, and lately to the AI side, which then took me to my new role as an AI architect at Kuarai, which is a Japanese manufacturing company, where I design AI systems and implement them end to end. Nice to meet you all.
Fantastic. How about we go with yourself next, Dmitry? I think some of the Business Central listeners probably don't need as much of an introduction, but let's get it anyway.
Hey, I'm Dmitry, and thanks for joining to this webinar, and thanks for having me. So I'm controversially to Bert. I started with the ERP world and continue to be there with the Business Central for the last 20 years. So I'm a little bit older. So, but I started my AI journey in 2017 with the machine learning, and then moved to their generative AI last year. I created the Central Q AI AI search for the Business Central community, and also to have a Central Q chat for chatting about asking Business Central how it should behave and how it works. And then So I'm also MVP for the last 7 years, and got my first AI MVP category this year, which I'm very happy about. Yeah, so it's great to be here and discuss fun things about AI.
Massive congratulations just on that first time AI MVP. It's not only hard enough going for one, so going for them both is very impressive. Thank you very much for joining us all the way from sunny Koh Samui as well. A bit late in the evening for you over there, but thank you very much. And Bert, finally, but definitely not least, please give us a little bit of an introduction to yourself.
I'm Bert Verbeek from the Netherlands. Living there all the time already. Studied financials. So I've got a financial background on it, but then involving into the ERP business, mostly as a financial consultant. And that was, I thought, 16, 17 years ago, based on NAV. And start developing towards a technical solution architect. That's my current role at 4PS. And we are now in a program from, okay, what can AI do with in the construction industry together with Business Central, and also because we are acquired by Hilti, a larger organization. They're also going to forward from, okay, what can AI do in the construction industry?
Fantastic. A very challenging business case. I it's an unusual industry, isn't it? The construction space. It's traditional in all of these different ways, but equally can benefit so much from the modernization and adaptation that you guys are pushing on it. So well, we look forward to seeing what you guys inevitably do. I think when initially we discussed this, but a couple of weeks ago, a couple of months ago, or even now, actually with one of my colleagues, we initially sort of mentioned, just because of your financial background, whether this sort of this language models, this current sort of format that we have is actually initially a great solution for ERPs if it's something that goes hand in hand naturally. And I think you had some interesting thoughts on that.
Yeah, indeed, because what I said, I've got a financial background, and also because what you said, the construction industry, yeah, it's very conservative, and I'm also very conservative because I'm also from the Netherlands, so that's true of all. Then I was thinking, and that's also what we see in our company, and also had talking with our customers is, okay, is large language models, can it be used inside an ERP system? Because mostly an ERP system, and if you're going to a financial department, they want secure data. They want really a very good cash flow, and the predictions are all in their heads. And that's also what you see currently with LMMs, but that's me maybe, because what I said, I'm biased, is it's sometimes quite difficult to put AI into an ERP product, because it's mostly all on prediction side and stuff like that. I think it will be very nice, and that's also what Bert said, when you have the next, that you can generate the reports for you, just like in clear language. And yeah, that's I think that's a real great to do, because that's quite a huge task for a financial department, that one.
Thank you very much, Bert. I think you mentioned earlier you were gonna try and change that bias. Have you got anything to respond?
Yeah, definitely. And I'm not going to tap in here too much on the LLM itself, although it's a wonderful part where it's going to be useful for the explanatory part. So if you have a model that's really been trained and focuses on financial data and sees, how can we make this all explainable, how to predict some KPIs for the future, steel prices or BPI or whatever, you're gonna consider like taking endogenous data, but also exogenous variables into it. So seeing what's happening inside of my company, but also what's happening around of my company in an economical perspective. And building on that, a financial model that's able to predict and spit some numbers out, that's already one part that can be certainly helpful or for the decision-making process in a company, being also competitive in an advantage point. But on top of that, you can lay off or an additional layer, ChatGPT, which sees these predictive data and then turns them into the numbers into words, like Bert said. And then I think it will be a set of multiple models as of now, which being orchestrated together, which brings most of the values.
Fantastic. And obviously, I think a point that I did some research around was sort of the natural language queries and stuff like that, and whether that can have will have and has already had an effect on maybe user experience and sort of the sort of ease of access from users, and maybe Dmitry, you might have an opinion on this with Central Q and the sort of natural language searching feature that you've created with that. Do you think that element of perhaps a language model will will be beneficial to an ERP and an ERP rollout moving forward?
Yeah, so if we think of ERP, we can definitely say that ERP is something very predictable. So we have like it works on a classical algorithms. It has a structured data. It is very predictable in terms of input and output. However, like LLMs are unpredictable. So it's a statistical models. Every time you ask the same question with the same parameters, it can give you a different answer. It could be like the same answer, but in different words. However, from the structured output, it would be a different answer, right? So we, when we think of applying something unpredictable to the predictable ERP, it is we have a problem. So we definitely need to think where we should implement AI in ERP. So it's I think one of the great areas where we can implement AI in the ERP is like assistant. So assistant can understand the user intent, can understand the user question. That's we have out of the box. Yeah, we have this by default by the architecture of LLMs. However, on the other side, we need to produce the correct answer, and like to produce the good answer from the ERP, the LLM should understand our ERP, should understand where to look into to get the answer. It could be a data inside of the ERP, like some table, or it could be a combination of tables, or it could be a query to get the data, or maybe it could be even more complex scenario when you want to predict something. But for the prediction, you can use more classical AI solutions like regression model. And this is not a generative AI. This is a regression model pre-trained on the data. Yeah, so it's more trustable than just a generative AI. So it's and I think this will be one of the big investment areas in the near future to okay, I will use the word train, but to teach the large language models how to understand our ERP, how to answer correctly using the data that we have, and maybe predict the data that on top of the data that we have. I think this, and then when we have the right answer, once again, we have to show this answer to the user, we have LLMs. So this LLM will just answer using the natural language, which any user will understand. So this will be like a black box for the user, how the LLM will produce the answer. But this is a very important black box. I think this is the big investment areas for the next years or so. But if we think from the user experience, this will be a simple assistant. I ask the question, I get the answer, and which is more important, I can trust this answer. I maybe can drill down and then analyze it. But yeah, this will be one of the great use cases. And like Central Cure here help in answering one type of the questions, like how the Business Central works. Yeah, so it's used like documentation, the blogs, YouTubes, and so on from the community, but it's the same black box. So it's understanding the user intent, then getting the right data for their answer and producing that answer in the natural language. Yeah, so this is one of the scenarios.
Yeah, but I think, Dmitry, that scenario, what you did with Central Q, I think that is really important to that now, and I'm using it every day because it's just searching also the internet and stuff like that. But that's the beautiful part. What you mentioned is, I think, the user or I'm asking just a question and it's providing me an answer of it, and it's telling me from where I can find more. And I think that interaction with the user and what you said, the intent, that's currently very important also, I think, within ERP system.
Yeah,
I think you guys are spot on. And to expand on this, and what I think is actually pretty underrated currently are knowledge graphs. So you have all of this data in the ERP systems, and yes, you want to get some answer to it, and you have this kind of black box. But what if we can incorporate not only part of data and then give some answers, but see it as a big picture, right? So there's something called knowledge graphs. I don't know if you are familiar with this, but it's basically consisting of nodes, and nodes are like, it could be like, customers, it could be like products, it could be like, anything that you can basically touch or anything you can describe, right? And between these nodes, you have edges, which describe the relationships between these nodes. So, and ERP systems are remarkable for representing a whole company, right? In that matters, if it's set up correctly. And these knowledge graphs are particularly really good at finding out these relationships between, so you can run an LLM over it. It can figure out some stuff that people never have thought of, because you always have certain SMEs, so subject matter experts in your company. Someone is only focused on financial, someone's only focused on supply chain. But if you connect all of these dots together, AI may be able to answer like, I noticed that your customer you have been in contact with, that group is buying some certain products, but at the same time the market is going in this or that direction, and it figures out some answers for that, which can be really beneficial to see it from a new perspective, or find out bottlenecks in your ERP system where it notices, oh, there's been many transactions happening here, and I'm doing some process mining over here, and I notice if you change this process or this step before, switch them around something, it will maybe speed things up by 50%. And I think there is a huge potential for that. And one key element for this is incorporating knowledge graphs and creating these relationships between all of these nodes that lay around on ERP systems.
Is it knowledge graphs technically are relations between the tables, or is it more like descriptive from the natural language?
They behave similarly. How would you imagine like a table? But you create more like some objects. So you have basically like a class. It's like customer, and what attributes the customer have. Market size, etc., where does it come from? Age group. And then you can have multiple relationships between these nodes. And the benefit is that you can quickly find out or cluster or segment data where you see, okay, there's like a strong relationship between customer and certain product groups. And it's more, the focus on knowledge graphs is really the relationship part between these data to make them visible, and which LLMs can perfectly use to deliver answers on.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just thinking that we have all this, I don't know, out of the box using the metadata of the ERP system, like Business Central. We have a table relations on the one side. That's from the architectural point of view. But on the other side, you also have relations on the UI. So you have this UI page connected to this page, connected to this page, which also represents some kind of knowledge graph, which I think totally makes sense to use.
Yeah,
It
but
does.
then indeed you combine the information all together, and
Yeah.
probably then also you can have Bert, what you said is predict, okay, what is next to it. So all the data is inside in this case Business Central, and you can predict it. And I think that will be, I think, the next step for AI to it.
Yeah.
Fantastic. You know, fascinating. I mean, I'm not going to lie, a little bit went over my head. I'm a background in economics myself, and this is pretty fascinating to listen to you guys. But this again is coming from a place of bias. But hearing these sort of fantastic potentials for AI and the efficiencies that can be created, and that the changes that can be made within a business, if it continues down that trajectory and if it uses these sort of maybe suggestions, do you sort of foresee, as open to the sort of table here, do you foresee a change within maybe a business's hiring strategies, within a business's sort of hiring plans? Do you think this will have an impact on the day-to-day operations of a business? Maybe we start with yourself, Bert.
Yeah, I think especially in the hiring system, it will definitely change to it. I think more and more you must understand it, understand AI, how it's working and stuff like that, and mainly how to process it. So also from the other perspective is from, okay, how you can also present yourself to the in this case the company of it.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. Does anyone else have anything for that?
I think that if we remember the initial hype, which was like half a year and a half ago, when the first we saw like a ChatGPT experience, and I think that everyone, me especially, thought, hey, we now can do everything with that. We can just ask anything and we can get an answer, and why do we need anything else? So it's I think that that was a first impression on this kind of systems, but then I think everybody quickly figure out after some experience that, hey, it's not like that. we need to be very careful in implementing that and implement in certain areas where we can really get some benefit from that. So I think that it's like step-by-step process. So it's we think it's a very new technology, right? We first need to understand what it's capable for, and we slowly understand now where we can implement that, where we cannot implement that, at least for now. And then it will be more specialized. So maybe more focused in one area, more focused in another area. Maybe there will be some general AI that will combine this focused area in one place, maybe in some, once again, like assistant experience. But internally, there will be more small focused, AIs or LLMs or whatever models that we will use in very special areas, and they will be first implemented, then very well tested, and then we can say that, hey, we can trust it here. We cannot use it here, and we cannot trust it here. But here in this scenario, we can use it. And so it's like slowly we can, increase these different areas, and yeah, maybe then we will figure out something else, because it's the early stage of our understanding of the capabilities, right? So we now definitely understand. Hey, yeah, we can use it here, but maybe we didn't check the opportunities in other scenarios. I'm not sure, but yeah, I think it's will be now. We will not see very big speed as we saw in the first year. I think the first year was a year of proof of concepts, and now we have a year of implementing in production. And implementing in production is like a very different, completely different. It requires so much effort than just a proof of concept.
Dmitry, I totally agree with you. When looking at the roadmap, I personally see two major road blockers or challenges here. I'm sure you can elaborate a lot more than me, but one is like the change management. When we're implementing new technology, some processes are definitely going to change, and people are used to, we are really used to some stuff for 10, 20 years, and now you're telling them, look, AI found a better way or a new way to do this, or we give them AI tools and they have to first see, what can I do with AI, what can I not do? So that's one thing. And the other one is having, their systems, and I think that's where that applies to large corporates, systems that are so much customized that you may need a greenfield approach to because it's they can't move any further because it's so customized that with each new version it's going to be a huge migration project after migration project, and I think there's a lot of potential in the SMB market, where most small medium businesses or many don't even have ERP systems. So where we touch on Business Central, and where they still work with only Excel sheets. And one thing that came to my mind is perhaps like there's an AI that where you feed in all of these Excel sheets, which contains all of your ERP data, basically, that then analyzes that and then configures that Business Central for you in a way that would work for you the best, right? I'm not sure if this is already a part of Business Central. If there's a functionality, you guys can elaborate a lot more, because I haven't touched Business Central for a longer time.
Yeah, no, there is no functionality. But reflecting on your second answer, especially from the big corporation that has a lot of customizations, and they will not. I think they will not upgrade to it. They will just attach some kind of AI that can do it, but it is not fully integrated. Like with Business Central or maybe other small ERP systems, it is fully integrated. So it is a real user experience to it that you can generate on the marketing sales is generate an email from the product itself, and I think that will give a lot of benefits on those ERP systems. And those are especially on the SMB. And also, I think when you are in the SMB, you probably have also a partner or acquired someone that has the knowledge of AI, because that will change your business of it.
Definitely, I thank you very much for that. I think it is ultimately going to make a huge change, and particularly the sort of even the early stage of Copilot and its sort of product inventory management, the generated product descriptions, things like that can release things so much quicker, and for businesses, speed and time and cost saving is ultimately the ultimate goal. So I think yeah, it'll be interesting to see where that goes with SMBs, and maybe who knows, you could look into that yourself, Parag. You can to maybe look into that functionality. It sounds like a little bit of a challenge, definitely, to bring all that in together. Just going back to what Dmitry mentioned about hype, there's a lot of hype around the sort of Microsoft and OpenAI sort of effective partnership with the investment. Do you all sort of foresee this having a positive effect on Microsoft Dynamics and its sort of market share within the ERP space?
I think yes, of course, because what I said before is they're putting it in every product, so especially users are going to use it, and if there is a product not having a Copilot, it is weird for them, because it's in PowerPoint, Excel, Business Central, Dynamic Sales. In that way, users are going to use it and are used of it. So what I said, for example, in the SMB, they are migrating every time. They're going to add new features to it, and in that case, probably people doesn't recognize it, but it makes their work a lot better and faster of it.
I want to add to that. Like if we think of Microsoft, it's like a very, very big corporation, right? So it's thousands of people working there, thousands of developers. And like before Copilot era, they were like all individual teams working on individual products, individual areas inside of the products. I had many discussions internally with Microsoft teams. People, what I heard from many of them is that when the Copilot appeared in the strategy of the company a year and a half ago, all teams, they were like united in terms of vision, in terms of how they do work, like never before. So it's I think the Copilot made a great job inside of the Microsoft internally, because at least teams now talk to each other much often than before, and because they are now all pushed to implement Copilot features in each like area, in each product, or in each area of the project or product, but it's still the same developers, right? So yes, they hired some people. I don't know the numbers, but at least from the Business Central development team, it's still the same people developing the product, and now they learn new skills. And I think they show to their partners a great example, so that you don't need to hire some big team externally that actually didn't understand what the work they did before. So it's the same developers, the same product managers. They now acquire a new skill, how to make copilots. And think it's great that every developer there now learn how to do that. And it's still a process, of course. It's still a process for everyone. It's I think it's not a magic. You didn't have this experience yesterday. Now you now you can do everything. No, it doesn't work like that. So it's like a learning curve, and it's a learning curve for everyone. And I think that it's very great that they're doing this in a very open source way. So it's they're doing they are releasing copilots in the previews. They check how it works, so they understand internally also if they did the right work or wrong work, and they also show us examples how we should work, because it's something that is not very, we get used to that, because for the ERP worlds, in the ERP world, we didn't release preview features before, as I remember that. So we got like the technical design, we implemented this technical design, then this feature goes to the support. We forgot about that. Yeah. Now it's a different curve. So it's now we implement something in a preview. We analyze how it works using the telemetry, and then we maybe re-implement this. Maybe we change the way how it works. We listen to the feedback. We react to this feedback. It's a little bit different way of developing things.
Yeah, but I think
so it's
Dmitry, that's maybe the exact good thing, just to have a very good acceptance by the partners and by the end users. Doing it as an open source and releasing it in a preview, indeed, it's never happened before. And then, okay, hey, what are the learnings of it? And especially, it's also approachable for the partners. So what Microsoft is developing, the partners can also develop, and even the end customers can just develop because it is open source of it. And I think that will gain a lot of more, maybe also profit of Microsoft, but selling for us, the partners, selling the Business Central product.
Exactly. So it's I'm very now like not impressed, but I'm very like how this whole development process now looks like, because it's very clear, it's very iterative, and we can also influence on that, because part of the Business Central is open source, and like I'm working on in the number series copilot, for example. It's the first AI open source feature coming from the partners, like from me in this case, and like this will be released in the BC 25, and I can tell you that it's not that's the experience is new, not only for me but for the Microsoft team as well, because internally they do have so much so big process just to approve this feature, to test this feature, to probably we do have a separate session on the directions EMEA just on that.
Do we think Microsoft is leading the charge with AI and with integrated AI in its products? Is it perhaps ahead of its competitors? I mean, you all three may be a little bit biased towards Microsoft, but I'd be interested to hear your thoughts.
I think that they were pretty fast in the first months, and releasing the Copilot in their search was a big deal. Just in the, in March, it appeared just 3 months after the ChatGPT. So it's they're definitely leading this. However, interesting to say that they use other large language models to that, right? So they do have internal trained small language models, and this is also a very interesting area, small language models. But they are very good now in partnerships with other vendors, with the OpenAI, and but it's not just OpenAI. You can actually run any large language model in the Azure, and it's a great thing. I think it's they now provide a platform, AI platform, and that's actually how they call it, and that's actually what is that. And now you can orchestrate all this using this even without coding, and this is very scalable. Yes.
Yeah, I second that. I think Microsoft just caught the train at the right time to push this, but not only that, it's also the platforms they offer. I mean, I'm here on my Windows computer, and at the right corner, I see Copilot just being, standard or pre-installed without me doing anything. So everyone sees that technology in front of their eyes, making them so like Microsoft, here, have it, in front of your face. So it's definitely they have an advantage when it comes to having this. You have it in Power Platform, you have it in Copilot for Sales, and they're also, like you said, Dmitry, collaborating with others. They're collaborating with Meta, helping, and also building LLMs for the really fast ones for the sales purposes, which can really generate answers in almost real time. And they're expanding from here on. And I'm excited what will happen next. What's the next big thing they're going to release? I know some generative AI for video generation are knocking on the door, and what we're seeing on the previews is pretty amazing, but they are not really publicly available yet. So I think there are going to be a lot more potentials opening up, especially I think for marketing when they create videos out of AI, etc. But less relevant maybe for ERP.
But that's also, I think, about because the marketing of Microsoft is just to put everything on with Copilot in every product. So, and the end users are using the Microsoft product, so they know about Copilot and they just speak about it. And if you say Copilot, everybody does understand it and knows why. And if they are speaking about AI, they mean Copilot.
I think, yeah, the marketing around it has been fantastic. I suppose it helps to catch a train early when you're probably the biggest company in the world and market cap of $1 trillion. I think it might help to ride a wave. But I definitely have seen the impact it's having, and I think we touched on before this the sort of the next steps for AI and where this goes. This sort of predictive analytics. This making a huge difference to a business if you can accurately predict what's coming next, or at least get pretty close to it. Do you think this is inevitable? Bert, if we start with yourself.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch your last sentence.
Sorry,
inevitable for what part?
This sort of predictive artificial intelligence, this accurate and reliable sort of predictive accurate artificial intelligence.
Yeah, accuracy. I mean, one good part is that it's able to give some references where it gets information from, and obviously whenever you open up ChatGPT, it says, check or double check the data you're seeing. And I totally agree. I've seen kind of times it's not 100% reliable, and I also tend to double check more often times, but it's already speeding up the process. If it shows me a reference for when it gets the information from, or from what factors it based its decision from, that's already a huge improvement in reducing time here.
We have 5 minutes left in this meeting, which is unfortunate. But I think if we maybe have some closing statements from everyone originally, from everyone here, then I think that'd be a nice way to round it off. So if anyone has any final predictions, thoughts, or yeah, again, shameless self-promotions, throw them in.
I'm very curious, about how the future interface of ERP models ERP systems will look like, because I think that if we think about internal processes, is we now deal with the data, so we have in data, out data, and I think that with the increase of different integrations between systems, we can. I believe that we can have no manual input at all. That we can have like 100% of data integrated between different customers, vendors, and so on, using the electronic documents. Even if we have like old paper documents, they will be fully automated in analyzing scanning the data and then automatically put into the tables. But I think that internally the systems will not very change. It still will be like ERP systems with the tables and relations between the tables because we need to store the data in the right way. However, from the user interface, I think that we will see a very big change, because I don't think that we ever need, in the future, we don't need to input data. However, the users will use different source of information, like maybe videos, just in the warehouse. Hey, I'm doing this, or maybe just we have a camera inside of the warehouse, and it will automatically analyze what's going on and do this data input in the systems. And the role of users will be more in data analysis and assistance, and getting some information about data and so on. So I think that probably the user interface will be a chart. So we don't have any pages, just a chart, and maybe just a microphone and type, and that will be more than enough. That will be just my vision of how these all complicated ERP systems can look like in the future.
Suppose we'll have to wait and see, won't we? It's either way, whatever happens, it's very exciting. I think sums it up in perhaps an understated way.